A 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, which puts you up to the top row. And the final two questions. Could this happen? Or more precisely, what we want to know is, could this happen in the near future? Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing. It should happen, and it should happen sooner than later. It has to. Or we'll continue to see this money game, this Ponzi scheme fall apart and ruin lives as it collapses, and we'll continue to waste our dwindling resources and poison our environment to keep that vicious consumption cycle turning. And we'll continue to see our young people heading off to war and coming home in coffins or without their limbs. This should happen soon. It has to happen. But could it? All right, well, actually, yes, it could. And there are two main reasons why it could happen now, whereas just 10 or 20 years ago, it wouldn't have been possible. And reason number one, technology. Oh, yes. These automated production lines, computerized robotics. You know, most of us aren't aware of how far we've come in a short time, how this technology has advanced. Yeah, this is our workforce now, and they could do 70, 80% of this work now in the next decade, and maybe 90% the decade after that. The rest could be done by volunteers, people who are interested in this technology, who see it as a challenge to put these systems into place and improve them and bring them up to maximum efficiency. But with all these war games we keep playing, we'd have to stop that, right? We'd have to grow up. But how can we do that when our leaders keep telling us that those people hate us and they want to kill us, and their leaders are saying the same thing to their people? Which leads us to reason number 2, which is technology. Yes, once again, the big winner. But not the automated systems we were talking about. This time it's the communication technology. You can go anywhere, visit with people on the other side of the world. For the first time in our history, we're able to virtually walk into their living rooms and get to know them and realize that they don't want to fight wars either. They don't want to invade other countries or have theirs invaded, be put in a position to kill or be killed just because our leaders are finding it too difficult and too profitable to arrive at a peaceful solution. Obviously, it would have to be on that huge, massive scale from the bottom up, you know. But we can do this now because of this amazing technology that enables all the people in the world to see that we're basically the same, and it's actually possible for us to be friends. Now when they say, oh, those people want to kill us, we can say, no. You know, most of those people don't want to have anything to do with your war games and power struggles. And we know that because we've talked to them. Yeah, while you've been threatening their leaders and they've been threatening you, we've gotten to know these people, and they're just like us. They don't want that world anymore. And it's time for you to stop it right now. Yeah, stop it, grow up. Enough of this biggest bully on the playground routine. We're not going to play that game anymore. That gets me up there too. And the final question, would the people in power want this to happen or let this happen? Yeah, you know, it would seem that this small group of people who are really benefiting from our current system would resist leaving it behind. Those people who are in charge of the governments and the banks and the corporations who have this ridiculous amount of financial wealth. And one segment of that group are the people who are working long hours in the day to remain rich, who are under an enormous amount of pressure and stress, who might decide to go with the transition because they've taken a good look at it and they believe it will actually make their lives better. Because all this pressure they're under, the demands on them require all their time, and they know that much of that time should be spent with their kids, their family. They shouldn't be paying someone else to raise their kids. They know that should be their job, and They'd like to be doing it in most cases, I believe, but they don't have time for it. They're trapped in the game like everybody else. Okay, so besides this segment of the people who are in control, there's this other group who are often referred to as the idle rich, who are just living off their money or someone else's money, and they could be the most resistant to this new system, the system that would benefit everyone instead of a few. Well, we would have to make them understand that things would be better for them, too. A society without corruption and crime, better. They wouldn't have to worry about criminals breaking into their homes and taking from them, or worse things. Wouldn't have to worry about someone kidnapping their children and holding them for ransom. All these terrible things that exist in the monetary system would be gone. And no one will be taking away their houses or their treasured possessions. They can keep all their homes, however many they have. Keep their cars, their yachts, everything. We would sincerely reassure them and make them see that they could continue to live with, to enjoy the same degree of idleness to which they've become accustomed. Now, it's true that most of them are used to having their maids and their hired help to clean up after them, and now that no one is in servitude to anyone else, well, they might have to do a little bit of cleaning up after themselves. But look, only for a short time, because soon we can get this new crew in there to do that work for them. And I'm talking about Robin ZG400 and the Jesse and Bobby Joe 2.0 cleaning companions. They do it all. They can serve your food and clean your table and wash those dishes. They'll sweep up and vacuum. They can do your laundry. And if you're really finicky, or what's the proper clinical term, anal retentive, about certain things like the way your towels are folded, well, these cleaning companions have settings that can be adjusted for any level of retention. Right here, for instance, I believe Robin's settings are in the full-on anal position, and just look at that precision, that attention to detail. And if that doesn't satisfy you, well, come on, loosen up a little. What if there were a few holdouts, from powerful countries, some of the corrupt tyrants who have big militaries, and they're saying, hey, look here, this is my money. All this, and it's worth a lot. And then we'd say, well, no, not really. We're not using that anymore. Oh, yes, we are. This is worth what I tell you it's worth. And I've got my military behind me to Oh, what? They're not back there? Are you sure? Hold on a second. Damn. Okay, maybe we can talk this over in a more... Are you sure they're not back? And that's how it ends. Because these are just little men with big armies, but when their armies aren't there anymore, well, they're just little men who have no other option but to walk away. And we're seeing that right now in the Middle East, in South America. The armies have come down on the side of the people. And I believe it will be our militaries who, instead of killing us all, will end up saving all of us by refusing to fight their own people. And that's how it ends.